In the previous tutorial, we talked about database migrations, config, and to-dos CRUD with eloquent models. This tutorial is all about authentication. We will create a full authentication system with email verification and password reset. Laravel comes with a complete authentication system right out of the box, where users can register or log in, reset their passwords, etc. There are some things to consider when implementing authentication with Laravel. Laravel includes a user model which will be used for default authentication driver for users. We already have all the controllers in app HTTP controllers auth folder, and Laravel also includes migrations for users and password resets table. To implement authentication, all we have to do is run make:auth command. It will create all the views in resources, views directory and add routes in our web.php routes file. Now go back to terminal, and type this command. php artisan make:auth. It will ask to replace the current layout, just press enter and it will keep our old layout. Let's update our navbar, blade.php, to add login, register and logout links. Auth directive is used to check if a user is authenticated. Inside the auth directive, we have to-dos and create to-dos, as well as a dropdown that has dashboard link and a logout link. Logout link is submitting a hidden form because logout uses post method. Inside the else directive we have login and register links. Laravel also has a guest directive which is opposite to auth. You can also use it with else directive. You can access the current authenticated user object with auth user. First, let's take a look at web.php routes file. You will see that now we have two new lines of code. Auth routes will register all the routes related to authentication like login, register and password reset. Second route is the home route that will redirect the user to home view, dashboard after login. You can type the route:list command to see all routes registered by your application. For the sake of learning, I'm putting all the routes here so you guys can understand better. Again, you don't need to put all the routes in your code, because we don't want duplicate routes. It's just to show you the actual routes responsible for authentication. Let's take a look at our controllers, located in app HTTP controllers auth directory. There are total 5 controllers. Forgot password controller. Sends the password reset email to a specified user. Login controller. Logs in and out a specific user. Register controller. Registers a user. ResetPasswordController. Resets the password of a user. Verification controller. Sends a verification email to the user and verifies a user. All these controllers except Forgot Password Controller have a protected property $redirect to which is used to specify the redirect URL when they log in or register. By default, they have home root, but you can specify a different URL if you want. If you open the login controller, you will see a construct method. Nothing else. And that's because all authentication controllers use traits that have all the functionality. These traits can be found in vendor Laravel Framework, SRC, Illuminate, Foundation, Auth directory, and if you want to modify a certain method, then override them in the controllers. Laravel also comes with login throttling, and a user will not be able to log in till 60 seconds if 5 tries have failed. Don't modify those traits since they are just dependencies and will change when you reinstall them. All the authentication views can be found in Resources, Views, Auth directory. These views are using Bootstrap styling, but you can change them however you like. All we are doing in these authentication views is submitting a form. And we have already learned it in the previous tutorial. So I'm not going to explain them here, since we have created the users and password resets table when we had created the to-dos table. So all we have to do is click Register link and create a new user. Register button will automatically log us in and redirect to home view. A middleware is used for filtering HTTP requests made to your application. For example, you don't want to allow guests to see the home, in other words, dashboard of your application. And same goes for authenticated users. They don't need to see the login and register views. Laravel already comes with middleware like auth, which will block all the unauthenticated requests entering your application. And guest middleware will block all the requests from authenticated users. You can also create your own middleware, which we won't do in this series. You can apply middleware directly in your controllers or in your routes. To define a middleware in a controller, you can use $this arrow operation, then middleware inside a constructor. So, add this code to your to-dos controller. This will block access to all the methods from unauthenticated users. If you want to ignore certain methods, then you can chain middleware method with accept, which takes an array of strings. You can also pass an array of strings to middleware method if you have more than one middleware. For example, in our login controller we have guest middleware except for logout method. To apply a middleware to a route, we can use middleware method. There may be some cases where you want create authentication yourself, like a separate admin authentication. Laravel provides a few methods that can be used for authentication. So let's look at them. Using a temp method, which receives an associative array of email and password. And the second parameter is a boolean for remember me cookie, which will keep the users logged in even after closing the browser. Using a user instance or ID field. Log out the user. Login example. When you register users, you will have to hash the password before storing it to the database. And for that you can use hash facade. Laravel uses guards for authentication, which gives you the ability to manage multiple authentications from multiple tables, like a separate admins table and users table. We won't talk about guards in this series. But if you're curious, then feel free to explore auth.php config file and documentation. Before Laravel 5.7, you would have to implement email verification by yourself, or use a package. But now email verification is provided by Laravel itself. To implement email verification, your user model must implement must verify email contract. All you have to do is add the implements must verify email to the class declaration. Let's set up our mail driver. We will use MailTrap, which works like a sandbox, and instead of sending the emails to specified users, it will capture all the emails in the MailTrap inbox. First sign up with MailTrap and log in, then click Demo Inboxes and you will see the credentials. Put your username, password, and set mail_encryption to TLS and restart the dev server. Last thing we need to do is add the verify middleware to the auth routes. To protect routes from unverified users, we can use verified middleware. In this tutorial, we will add the verified middleware to the home route. You can also use it in your controllers. This will block access to unverified users and only allow users that have verified their email. If the URL in email is localhost, then you should change app_URL since we have already set up the mail driver. Now all we have to do is click Forgot Your Password button on the login form and it will open the password email view. Enter your email, click Send Password Reset link button and it will send the password reset email to your MailTrap inbox. Now open the email from MailTrap and click Reset Password button. This will open the password reset form where you can reset the password. Next tutorial is the last and will be about eloquent relationships and image upload. You will learn one-to-many and many-to-one relationships and some useful methods for eloquent models. We will create a foreign key constraint so a user can only modify or create their own to-dos and won't be able to see to-dos from other users, and lastly we will upload the user profile image. Feel free to comment below. For more upcoming video tutorials, you can subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. So, let's continue to the next tutorial.